more of a buffer. Your army is just too low in hit points to actually fight in the late game with mostly Marines.
Yeah. Oh, well. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen on the next map, Deadwing.
A good map for Protoss versus Terran.
It is.
FanTaSy's got to be hoping for vertical spawns here. Cross spawns, and he's probably going to be pretty upset.
Can get pretty ugly very quickly.
I don't think Terminator's going to show us the same style either, Moonglade. Let's go into game number 2. Terminator versus FanTaSy here at the Neighbor Starleague. The bottom left, in the red. Once played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, nowadays it's Terminator. By Hominator, his Korean nickname. It took me a minute to remember what he's called in the Korean scene. To the top left, the terrorist Terran FanTaSy. There he is. He almost looks like happy there for a second. I'm like, no, man, you gotta get.
No, you gotta be sad right now.
Get focused, man.
You lost that game. You gotta be mad.
Late game TVP is hard.
It is, especially. Well, it should have been. I feel like it should have been easier for him, but I guess he was down a base for a long time.
He was.
Granted, it was only minerals.
But you know, if you can avoid taking big engagements until you're even with the Protoss in upgrades, which he was able to do, that's a great sign. If you can avoid engaging Colossi until you have the right amount of Vikings, that's a good sign for you, right? He did basically everything right. His harassment was on point. Terminator's defense also was really good. He always had observers exactly where FanTaSy was going to drop.
He was on point.
He often blinked and killed drops. But, you know, I feel like FanTaSy definitely could have just taken a little bit more care at how he moved out across the map. Like you said, he wasn't on a timer.
Yeah, I just don't think he realized it. I don't think he realized that there was simply no gas in the works for Terminator outside of making Colossi. So, yeah, just a little too hasty. And we are going to see that CC first once again.
Indeed. So,
greedy boy.
2 times in a row. Really favoring this opening versus Terminator.
Now, last time we saw Terminator on this map against Tasia, he went for Oracle into Phoenix Colossi. I wonder if we're going to see that kind of style again from him.
It's definitely a solid build for the map. Oracles are fast, harassment units.
Oracles are fantastic.
We see, I would say, about 50% of Terrans like to CC first on this map in this matchup. Not every Terran's brave enough, but it ends up happening about half the time, so I think it's a good opening because it's an opening that does quite well against CC first. And it is good at vertical spawns, which we haven't talked about yet, but vertical spawns are great for Terrans who like to do that lazy boy push that, you know, pull the boys, come across the map, you know, take those timings, innovation. Probably the best player in the world at doing this.
Or Bomber.
Bomber also quite good.
Ridiculous at doing them.
Pult is also not bad.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's not really FanTaSy's style. He's the terrorist Terran. He likes to harass, he likes to drop, and play late game. And I think we're probably going to see him play that type of style again here, considering he already went CC first. And after watching that game he did last time, you know, that just occurred, he's probably thinking to himself, you know what, I actually almost had that. I think if I play a little bit safer.
Yeah, well, hopefully his coach came in there and told him exactly what went wrong. And, like, it's like, yo, dude, he had 4 gases and 5 bases, man. Like, he was going to try and kill you early. You could have just waited.
Or, yo, make a bunker at your third, too.
Yeah, make a bunker.
He always had a turret there, and he was doing some cool, like, stop position micro with his SCVs.
It's just kind of unnecessary if you have, like, a decent SimCity with a bunker, and then you can just repair the bunker, and things get a lot easier. But yeah, as you were saying, great sort of positions for Terran to be aggressive on. Granted, up the front, and a lot of dropping potential.
And we see that Stargate.
Stargate, Oracle, Terminator, doing exactly the same things we saw him do against Tasia.
Yeah, and then switched into Phoenix Colossus.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see that style again. I wonder if he's going to keep recycling it, because I feel like it's not very common for a reason. It's definitely not that popular, especially outside of Nimbus.
There are a few players that really like to use it. Youngshik is also one of them. Stats, we've seen use it before. Not as big as a commitment as the other two, but...
Yeah. And we did see that scout from Terminator. He knows exactly the build he's dealing with.
Yeah. And, you know, had he gotten a better look at that Marine count, he could feel pretty comfortable it was going to be triple barracks.
We're starting with a Phoenix Wolf.
Yeah. Okay. So Phoenix first.
Interesting.
Well, that definitely means he's going to be heavily focused on the harassment early game. And look at that SCV sneak by.
Yeah. Doesn't get really anything done.
Nope. But it looked really cool.
It looked cool until it went AFK.
Well, let's see. I mean, just back at FanTaSy's base, he's powering up, obviously, the Tech Labs, getting ready to build a normal comp just like last game. And on this map, because even at vertical spawns, rest distance so far, Terminator can cut units. He can just have 2 stalkers on the map, deny scouts, and go Robo, Phoenix, and Probes. Spend all of his money on that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got last game in mind, and he's like, okay, I've got this timing where I got to deal with a lot of bio and 2 medivacs that come out in the map and try and drop me and push my front at the same time, so I have to be in position, I have to be ready. And it looks like he is going to try and go for like the Phoenix to just the hard counter that kind of drop from coming in.
Ooh, I think he's going to show a pylon. I think he's going to make it look like he's about to do an all-in.
Right.
I think he's going to show a pylon. We've seen SOS do this before. And then bunkers go down. The second your rocks get attacked by stalkers, you're like, uh-oh. I have to make a bunker because even if he's not all-inning me, I just have to make a bunker. He scans even. Sees a healthy probe count in the natural. That might make him feel a little bit more comfortable. But you can never be sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's always... It's such a cheap sort of safety mechanism, the bunker. I mean, you salvage it if there's nothing. Only 100 minerals, and it guarantees your life for a little while longer.
Yeah. Well, if you couldn't salvage bunkers, that would be like a nightmare for Terran.
That'd be perfect for everyone else there.
That'd be perfect for everyone else.
I would love that. And yeah, we are going to see that Phoenix Colossi build. 1 forge being added as well, no doubt. Going to be for that armor.
Yeah. Well, Phoenix count's getting pretty high. Actually, can you check exactly for me? Okay, just 3. A 4th one about to pop out.
Yeah.
Just keeping these well hidden.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just going to wait. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's going to go for the harassment now that he has enough kind of bully pick off and maybe deal with some Marines.
Got like 2-shot an SCV with all those Phoenixes when you lift it. So,
yeah, he can deal with everything very, very quickly.
I'm going to be able to kill this depot before it finishes. Yep.
That's just mean.
And turret's not ready.
Yeah.
This is going to start to be annoying. 2 SCVs going down here in the main as well. 4 in total. 5 now. Phoenix is so fast that without stim, you can't really kill them. And even if you have stim, you're probably not going to kill them. You don't want to waste your hit points. So, probably going to want to get some turrets up.
Yeah, looks like he's just going to be sitting on 4. Just going to kind of maintain that threat. And it's obviously going to warn off like a lot of drop potential that maybe FanTaSy was thinking about.
Phoenixes are great for that. You know, when you have Phoenixes on the map, a Terran is thinking, probably don't want to try to drop. A Zerg player is thinking, I probably don't want to try to make Mutalisk right now.
Yeah, you got to be very careful when it comes to this. Like, you got to know the positioning of him. You can still do it, especially with medivacs, because you do have that medivac boost. You do have the option of risking it, going for it. I mean, it's only 4 Phoenix, so they're not going to kill a medivac too quickly.
Yeah. Now, if he runs into this army in the middle of the map, which he's already seen, he might be able to come from the back and hit some hit points on those Phoenixes, or on those medivacs. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
Just going to sneak around the backside, but good control here by FanTaSy. Does deny that. And now he knows the bio's moving across. He can use the Phoenixes to harass. Holding on to this 3rd Nexus is not going to be easy, though. How many sentries does he have? He's got 1 sentry.
He's got 1 sentry, 2 force fields almost, so he's got to be very careful. The stim's going to come in.
Yep, good splits here by FanTaSy. There's enough zealots at the front to tank, though. And he cannot get anything done. And uh-oh, this is the scariest part when the Phoenixes come back.
Salvages enough bio, though, from that fight to kind of one off the Phoenix.
He didn't get any damage done at the 3rd. You know, and there's a Twilight Council coming up now. No 3rd base whatsoever for FanTaSy.
2 Widow Mines coming down as well with 2 more medivacs, so he can try again. It's going to be a bit harder, though, this time, especially with 3 Colossi and those Phoenix in position.
And not all the bios at full health. You know, it's being recovered right now with those medivacs, but there's something to consider. 3rd base is coming up for FanTaSy here. Upgrades are even in the sense that Terminator has the armor, FanTaSy has the attack.
Oh, if he picked up a Widow Mine, that'd be insane. That would make
great
things
bonus.
So much harder. And FanTaSy looking for something, but he's not going to get anything done, especially now. The Nexus is finished. Photon Overcharge can come online. We are seeing a probe harass that 3rd command center.
Templar Archives, so we're going to see Templar this time. Cannon gets canceled. There's 2 more cannons going up. FanTaSy just cannot break this.
You know, I think we could even see like an Archon timing. I feel like that would be a great addition to this. The, yep, Charge Lot, Colossi, Archon, timing, right up there. Try and kill that 3rd base.
Here's FanTaSy's first-person view, by the way. Going to go ahead and drop down here at the natural. And as you can see, he gets 2 Widow Mines in here. They're just going to escape. Meanwhile, just looking for an opportunity over here because he knows that that Pro Army is moving back. He's going to pick off some Zealots, adds a second starport to help get ready for Phoenix Colossus, but he does not know about the Temple Archives.
No, he does not, and it's fantastic to see a first-person view this late into the game. It's something people have been wanting for a while now.
Uh-oh, those drops are vulnerable to Phoenix's. I think he knows.
Yeah, he's going to be very careful.
But yeah, this is amazing, actually, that we get to see this. Now,
Naver did that.
Naver, thank you, Naver.
Thank you, Naver.
A huge 4-drop coming in here to the main base as he distracts at the natural.
This drop could do a lot of damage. He's going to be right on top of the tech. Can get rid of the Robo Bay.
Yeah,
can get rid of the Nexus if he wants to. I mean, it's going to be so hard.
See what he decides to go for. Okay, targets a Nexus, and he should get it. That's a ton of lost gas mining to lose that base.
Can he get the army out of here at the same time? Or is he actually going to try for the...
Oh, the feedback attempt!
Ooh.
Not enough energy on those medevacs, and he should be able to save most of them.
Yeah. He's gonna save most of them. So very nicely done, removing the Nexus. Wow.
Good careful micro here on those Colossi to kill the Widow Mine.
Storm almost finished as well. So we are going to see Storm Tech.
Yep.
7
Templar on the map. That's a lot of storms. And upgrade-wise, you know, FanTaSy very behind with his 2-2.
We don't see any ghosts either.
Not a single one. Not even Academy.
An Academy, yeah. This could be a bit of a problem coming into the late game. I think he bought a lot of time getting rid of that main Nexus, but still, like, this can be a big problem very soon.
You know, just moving across now with this huge bio army. There's the Ghost Academy. Okay, so very aware this time of what he's up against. His Viking production is 4 at a time, and you know, with that, he'll obviously, with 12 Vikings in a second, be able to overpower 3 Colossi and 4 Phoenixes, but he's not quite there yet.
Not quite there yet, yeah. But it's really the Storm that's going to be the big problem. You actually are seeing Immortals being added into this composition as well.
And feedbacks could be a problem as well, Moonblade. Let's see if he reacts in time.
No, doesn't.
No.
Storms instead.
Farms his own probes nearly there. Yeah. Loses 2 Templar and a lot of lost mining time here. I think that was actually pretty worth it for those drops.
Oh, wiped out the army at the front there. Did a lot of damage.
Needs to pull his probes back into mining. Bringing the whole Colossus army back here to deal with just 3 bio units. FanTaSy does not capitalize on it, though. Now starting to move in these scans, but the army is already back in position. Could get a good shot with these Vikings.
Ooh, he's going to poke. A little bit. Almost got a Colossi.
I love this matchup for moments like this. It's so tense.
Yeah, when it comes to Psionic Storm versus Ghost, it's such a positional fight. Even when Vikings are on the map, you just have to control your army so well.
Spotter Pylon, or rather Spotter Depot, spots that Prism and stops a disaster from occurring in the main base here, because without those Vikings, there wasn't much of a defense over there for FanTaSy. There's no 4th base in sight for Terminator, whereas meanwhile FanTaSy's making his 4th CC. He's got a healthy SCV count at 70 with 4 orbitals to make as many Marauders as you desire. You can make whatever you want. He's adding 3 more barracks to power up so he can remax faster after he takes trades. And with all the extra money, you can make Vikings too.
We actually see FanTaSy with the upgrade advantage as well.
Yeah.
The first time. It's 2-1 upgrades for Terminator against the 2-2 of FanTaSy. So FanTaSy in pretty good position. He has Ghost out in time before any sort of threat came on the map with Storm. He's sitting very well.
I was just going to a little bit of annoyance at his 4th base, but just for a second. That wasn't a lot of damage done there.
Let's see if he adds bunkers this time as well, Wolf. So far, nothing, but it is a lot easier to defend on this map. There is like a little cluster of bases in the corners, so it's not hard to defend 4 base.
Well, there are 9 ghosts in this army. Here we go, double scan. He wants to get in the perfect position to snipe these Templar, and he's going to do just that.
Oh, wow. He's going to get, by the looks of it, 4?
Yep. Looks like it.
Gets 3, but expels all their energy.
And he didn't lose his ghost for that. You know, he traded some bio, the cheaper units.
That was so cheap.
That was really well done. Doesn't get the 4th base. Had he maybe moved the rest of his army behind that, he might have been able to get it, but just being very careful here. Keeping a few Widow Mines with his army as well. And always keeping those Vikings spread, you know, splitting them as best as he can when these engagements happen, so they fan out, don't take extra storm damage. Dealing with these ghosts is so difficult without Colossi.
By the way,
look at that Viking position.
Look where the Colossi are. You cannot see them because they're in the main base currently. It's like they've been unhotkeeyed or something. It's very, very strange.
Yeah, he doesn't have them with his army.
And the Vikings are looking for them, but they just can't see them.
Well, this base is going to go down.
Yeah, free fourth base.
Free Archon. And +3 armor finishes here for Terminator, but 3-3 is already on the way for FanTaSy.
We are seeing Terminator to kind of get in position to kind of crush this army. If he can get rid of the whole army.
Oh, but he loses his mothership core. That is painful. And already a perfect position for these Vikings. Just kite and eliminate Colossus after Colossus. This bio army is huge.
Way too much damage. And EMPs go down on the rest of the forces. And he can trade very cost efficiently. He doesn't even have to kill.
Look at the supply. Look at the next wave of reinforcements.
Here they come. I think that's it.
That certainly should be Moonglade. We're going to a game 3 here.
Looks like he isn't going to land the Vikings. He should probably get out of there with the rest of his units. But I think from here, Terminator is beyond repair. He is down 50 supply, down a base.
Look at all of the money he has as well that he can't spend. He has 1,100, 300. I don't even know what he's building with that. A few more High Templar. Blink is on the way. An upgrade long missed in some of those fights.
Yeah.
His Colossi being missing was pretty annoying, but I have to say that even if they were there with the control that we saw from FanTaSy on his Vikings, the positioning.
Yeah, it's just strange not to have it with the rest of the army because, I mean, he did have Storm to defend against the Vikings if they did decide to poke in.
Yeah, and you need those Colossi to poke the Ghost to make sure they can't just walk up and snipe your Templar like we saw.
Oh, well, he's going to try for that fourth base, and all these Templar are being caught out again from Bio.
And not enough energy for Storm. He might as well just make them into Archons, but he doesn't.
Yeah, that probably is the next step, actually.
But look at that. More and more probes going down. He's hiding a base to the bottom right. That's his backup plan here, but I just don't think it's going to matter. I think he's going to die before then. A good Storm on the Vikings. Well, the Vikings don't care anymore because there's no Colossi to deal with. And this Terran force with nearly 3-3 upgrades, just too much. GG.
GG.
FanTaSy bringing it back.
Very nicely done from FanTaSy. Looking much stronger in this game. Didn't take too much economic damage from any sort of Zealot run bys, and he had the composition he needed.
Well, that was very, very well executed by FanTaSy. Taking the right drops. Love that we get to see that first-person view of exactly how he's executing that.
Finally, we get to see something like that. It was very exciting.
To be honest, like, in my opinion, I actually like the first-person view of just